Hi everybody, thanks for joining me for this week's question and answer video. Hope all of you are feeling better, feeling good. If not, let's try to fix that. This is a weekly question and answer video I do every single Monday. So please, I encourage all of you, ask questions, go down below in the comment section, ask me anything you want. I'll answer it next week in next Monday's question and answer video. I like to recommend something every week. Oh, before I do that, something I haven't done in a while is promote Shane's Law Petition. Shane was a victim of a nasty narcissistic smear campaign and he took his own life. But somebody started a petition in Shane's name, and it's a law to stop this kind of harassment online, things like this. Okay, we really need it. Wherever you are in the world, I'd really appreciate it if you follow the link down below in the description box. Shane's Law Petition. Go there and check it. This thing is great, as really gotten traction over the last few years, and it's been really nice to watch this thing grow and grow and grow. I think it's quadrupled since I've been promoting it. So please consider doing that if you haven't already. Thank you very much. So this week I'm going to recommend a device to help you sleep. I recommend all kinds of things every week. If you want to, go and watch every single Q&A video that I've done for the last 5 years now. I think I've been doing these videos, the Q&As. And you'll see all kinds of recommendations. Sleep is vitally important for everyone. It's a need, meaning if we don't have it, we're sick, okay? If we've suffered from trauma, stress disorders, traumatic, abusive, neglectful relationships, we need sleep. It's vital in our recovery, in our healing. It's the only time our brain really repairs itself, and this stuff causes brain damage, okay? So we need sleep. It really sets the tone for the next day. Something that you guys have some control over. It will help depression, anxiety. It will help with energy levels, things like this. So this is a kind of a mask you fit around here. This is for side sleepers. If you're not a side sleeper, become a side sleeper. Whatever it is that you say, I don't like it, unless it's some medical issue. You just do it, and then your brain will like it. Because it's the right way to sleep on our side. So this is a mask. It fits around here. It's made by Point. Bluetooth sleep eye mask, wireless headphones, cotton sleeping eye cover, travel mask, headsets with microphone, hands-free sleep headphones for side sleepers, gift for men and women. Awesome. It's got so it totally blacks you out from any light. It's got built-in little speakers, little battery. It's just really cool. You can play all kinds of stuff from things that help you sleep and calm you down and stress-free. It could be just for naps. This is something that you could do every day. We don't really want to take naps during the day. It really breaks our sleeping patterns up. But resting is so good for you. Laying down for 15 minutes. It's good for your heart. It relaxes you. It divides the day up really nice, calms you down. This would be a great thing to use for that. So if you're interested, the link is down below in the description box. Of course, it's Amazon. This product is only $19.98 and has a 12% coupon right now. So it's pretty cheap. Anybody who's trying one, let me know. This is recommended to me by a friend of mine, and she just loves it. She's been using it now for a couple months. She says it really changed her life. And that's what better sleep will do. Okay? All right, let's get on to the questions. First one is from Emily. And I don't know where you're from. I know you've told me before. We have an Emily from South Africa. This is a different Emily. Please let us know where your locations are, people. Let us know where you are. Thanks. Thank you, David. I have more than 3 years on following your channel. I still find so many things to learn. Thank you for your work. Oh, thank you for your support for the last 3 years. You're very welcome. Thanks for telling me. Rory from Ohio. Resting up, thrifting with my grandson. Have you watched the series on Netflix called Inventing Anna, based on a true person, a narcissist who took it to extremes, exploiting people in real life? She went to prison, was let out for a time, and I believe she was just arrested again about a month ago. This quote kept showing up throughout the series in hallways and elevators, on buildings or doors. The quote is, "This whole story is completely true, except for the parts that are totally made up." Seriously, I'm not making that up. Just wondering if you heard about it. Thanks, David. I heard about the real person this story is about. Total con artist from Germany, and just really conned big big conglomerates, typhoons, and rich people and companies, which is not easy to do. She's amazing at it. Must be. So I went and checked out the series. I watched the first episode. Looks pretty good. She's a good actress, but she's got to be antisocial. In the first episode, they really build her character up. They let you know what she's all about, and it was so interesting. A journalist wanted to find out more about her, and went and spoke with all these people she's ripped off and had interactions with and stuff like this over the past couple years, and it's unbelievable. Each person that doesn't know each other, they just know her. Each person describes a completely different person when talking about her. They'll say she wore all black always, and then she never wore black, wore bright clothes all the time. She never wore the same outfit twice. She wore the same thing every single time I saw her. I mean, it was just amazing. She acts like this, she acts like that. Her family money came from this for one person, but it came from this for another person. I mean, it's just amazing. From her personality to her behaviors, her choices, it's completely different for each person. Total antisocial trait. And I'm not just talking about like someone who can just, when someone's in a good mood, they'll be in a good mood with them, and if you're down, they calm down, and they're, no, I'm talking just completely present yourself, your character, as a made-up character, and divide it into each person you're different with. It's just incredible. Such a scam artist, such a con artist, never did anything wrong, she claims, except just probably ruin people's lives, I'd imagine. Pretty interesting story. The quote, the whole story is completely true, except for the parts that are totally made up. I don't know what the author meant by that. I find that interesting too. At first I thought maybe it's taken that these are all stories that she made up, right? And so it didn't really happen, but this is the narrative. And then I thought longer, and I thought none of it is just really true, or she's just it is all true, but she denies it all. I don't know. I wonder what the author means by that. What do you think, Roy? And thanks for the tip on a good show. I might keep watching it. I'm not sure. Jennifer from the United Kingdom. Hi, Jennifer. Can you feel sympathy without being an empath? I didn't think so, but could you help? Also, can one have empathy without being abused in their life? And could you be sympathetic whilst answering me? I've not had a good week at all. Thank you, David. Yeah, I'm sorry, Jennifer. I hope it's getting better for you. You left this message a couple days ago. Hope today's better. So, we all have different definitions of what an empath is, right? An empath is a title that we give to people who may be overly empathetic. And see, right there is just my opinion right there. So, most people in the world have empathy, okay? Most people, definitely most, almost all people have empathy. And it's the ability to understand how somebody else feels, especially how your actions, behaviors, and choices affect someone else. Okay? And some people that don't have empathy are incapable of that. I think empathy could be labeled as a kind of consciousness or awareness of how others feel. An empath, my opinion of an empath, is someone who's been neglected, emotionally neglected, possibly abused, which is abuse, in growing up in childhood during development. And instead of the family and the teachers and the parents focusing all their attention on the children's emotions, hi, how are you? How are you feeling? They focus on their own. They focus on their own loss in life, okay? And it takes the child's attention and focus onto other people's emotions instead of their own. And so it's not a great thing, it's not a healthy thing, it's a product of being neglected and abused. We can be neglected and abused so much that we never even develop empathy, right? So can you have sympathy without being an empath? Of course. I think empath would be a self-diagnosis. How about we just agree that most people have empathy? It's the only way we've made it this far in societies, caring for each other. Absolutely. You want to look at a civilization and judge how advanced they were by bones and stuff like this. You'll find old people with broken bones and no teeth still living because we have empathy and we care for each other and we understand how important that is. Now, an empath may be overly empathetic. You don't have to be overly empathetic to have sympathy for somebody else. So the empathy is awareness of how somebody else feels. They say being able to put yourself in their shoes without actually having the experience done to you. You know how they feel still. That's the ability to be aware of how someone feels. Sympathy means I sit and cry with you. I'm so sorry. That's so bad, right? And you can have one without the other, and you can have both. You can have none. Can you be an empath? Can you have empathy without being abused? Most people aren't abused. Most people have empathy. This is a natural, normal, human ability. Okay? It's only the few, the rare, that didn't develop into fully functioning adults that do not possess empathy. Children do not have empathy. At some certain age, we develop that. You'll see a bully in high school when we were teenagers, and they were a bully. They didn't have much empathy, right? And you might see them in college years, 20s, and now they're really, really nice, and they have empathy. They developed empathy, and that's how important every year is. They might have developed empathy at 18 years old. Okay? I hope I answered your questions. Thank you, Jennifer, and I hope you have a better day today. Okay, Bruce, don't know where you're from. Let us know where your location is, Bruce. Thank you. Bruce Johnson says, why after we have negative experience with narcissists do we get targeted by other narcissists? Do we have a target on our back? Yes, look, it's there. You didn't see it? Someone must have stuck it on there. Believe it or not, narcissists and victims of narcissists came from similar backgrounds. So the reason you got into your second toxic relationship is for the same reason you got into the first one. There's something familiar about this. Okay? They may exhibit behaviors and personality traits that might be just like your mother, father, or both. Or the relationship itself is familiar. Massive neglect. You don't have any emotional security. You don't have any emotional attention, no emotional autonomy, no emotional connection. They don't let you have friends. They don't let you, do you see that? That might be what's familiar, but it's emotional. It's feeling. So I feel in this relationship the same way I felt as my childhood. I felt insecure. I felt sad, depressed, lonely, okay, detached in this relationship. I have relationships that are stagnant, not growing, neglectful, abusive. It started in childhood. We emulate our first relationships we ever have, which would be from our caretakers, right? So the caretakers set our relationships forever. We can change them, but however our parents, whatever kind of attention they give us, however it feels, that's what we end up having later in adulthood. It sets our attachment styles, things like this, okay? And this can be very difficult to identify. Adult relationships that are toxic or neglectful are much easier to identify than our childhood relationships. We don't have anything to compare that with. We have one childhood, one mom, one dad, or just one set of caretakers, or just one caretaker. And when we become adults, we're more aware of everything. We have more relationships with more different people all on our own, and we start noticing and identifying these kinds of things. And we don't, it's harder to realize this came from childhood, okay? All right? So not knowing how to have a functional, healthy relationship, not knowing how to communicate effectively, and low self-worth, not feeling that we are worthy of better with healthier people that give us what we need and want. Make sense? Also, as children, whatever we don't receive, love, attention, emotional needs met, we tend to stray somewhere else and find it. We don't become independent and learn how to do it ourselves. We are dependent because our parents didn't do it for us, didn't give us attention, never said I love you. And in that case, someone can come along and say I love you, and it's like, when we call it love bombing because of how it made us feel. Everything that we wanted and needed, we finally have it, right? Instead of parents giving it to us unconditionally all the time, teaching us how to do that for ourselves, and then us striving for our own independence. Hope that makes sense. Thanks, Bruce. And let us know where you are. I can't remember. Sorry. Victoria from the Bay Area. Hi, Victoria. Thank you for answering my question about Will Smith and Jada. You're welcome. I couldn't help but notice the painful look on your face when you announced that was me at one time with my ex-narcissist. I realized it had been years, but you still had the painful look on your face. My question is, does the pain ever go away? Yeah, Victoria, I've talked about my past relationships and answered many times. I have no pain from my past anymore. I have no past relationships that still hurt me in any way, where I feel bad when I think about them in any way. None. None. I've healed. What you might have seen when I talked about my behaviors, I was describing how overprotective I was, and how I would protect my abuser, and I would feel threatened and challenged by other people, and I would get in their face and, don't you talk bad about my girlfriend. That's what I'm embarrassed about, is my behaviors. No more pain, okay? And the pain can go away. I'm not going to tell you your pain will go away. I don't know. But most of us, if not all of us, have the ability to heal from our pain. My question is what are you doing about it? And don't tell me time. Okay? Thanks, Victoria. And thanks for your concern and compassion. Jennifer from the United Kingdom. Hi, Jennifer. Dearest David, could you please say a few words on the ego? Yes, I know you may have done a video, LOL, but let's all be in the moment with this one, please. Sure. Can you be more specific? I'll tell you what I think about the ego. The ego was a term coined by Freud. He talks about the id, the ego, the superego. The ego is our own self-importance. We have what we're aware of and what we're not aware of, our consciousness and subconscious. It's somewhere in the middle, in that gray area. We're somewhat aware of it, somewhat not. Some people think it's a bad thing. I don't. I say accept it and let's have a healthy ego. Okay? Self-importance. Self-importance, that's the narcissist. The narcissist lives through the ego and believes that's what they are, or who they are. And it's not, it's what. It's our own self-perception of our own self-worth, self-esteem, and self-importance. Okay? We don't want to let our ego take over. We want humility. We want to be able to look at our true self past our ego. Our ego starts where our skin stops. It's the outside external. It's not really ourself. Okay? I'm not sure what else to say about it right now. So please keep asking more questions about it. I love talking about it. It's very interesting to me. And I think learning about it is just increases our own self-awareness. Totally. Okay. Thanks, Jennifer, for asking. Paul says, go to farmers market. Support your local farmers. Absolutely. I was talking about last video. The reason Paul says this is because I was recommending going out as often as you can and interacting with people in society. Don't go shopping once every week or two. Go shopping every day. Get every meal at the grocery store. At least you're being out there more. Go to the same cashier. Introduce yourself. Say, hi, how's the family? And Paul recommends going to farmers market. Yeah, great. They're awesome. Most of them are outside. A lot of fresh produce. Interacting with people, local farmers, stuff like that. It's pretty cool. Thanks, Paul. If you have that in your area. Patia? Hope I'm saying your name wrong. I'm sorry if I'm not. Please correct me somehow. Thank you for your take on autism and narcissism. You're welcome. Please keep asking questions, okay? And you have a question down here. Do mean things, managed to be closed off and leave. We actually impulsively as a consequence of our unhealed trauma. So you're talking about a relationship you had with somebody that ended, and both of you have past unhealed traumas. We had accepted each other's eccentricity. We had made an emotional connection, and we're taking things slow. We were communicating quite well until unanticipated people and events triggered us. We were placed in a state of confusion when we made trauma-driven decisions to say goodbye. His decision was to say and do mean mean-spirited things, and my decision was to be closed off and leave. We acted impulsively as a consequence of our unhealed trauma, and we haven't seen or spoken since. He is being portrayed by others as toxic. I tell them maybe he thinks I am the toxic one. Then I ask, why do either of us have to be toxic? And during this chaotic time, our unhealed traumas reared its ugly head and we reacted unhealthily. My gut says to be respectful and leave him alone, but also to call him and say we could have done this better and I miss our friendship. Is this cognitive dissonance? I don't know. My question is if it is healthier to remain silent and acknowledge this relationship has ran its course? Thank you for your opinion, as I would appreciate your insight. I don't know what you should do. I don't know what to tell you. For me to tell you what to do, I'd have to know every single little thing about you and your life, how you feel and what you need, what you value, and all these things. So this is your choice to make. I can't really give you much advice. What I did notice, what I put down here, here's what I answered. Please seek professional help with this. Absolutely. Because we don't want to keep making the same mistakes. I wrote, mistakes and poor choices are okay, as long as we learn from them and not repeat them. And you may have more to learn as to not repeat the same mistake. Because when we go back and make the same mistakes, it feels absolutely horrible and they're hard to recover from, and it really lowers our self-worth. But what I noticed is I see you are defending him and you're explaining mixed with self-doubt. These are symptoms of being a victim of emotional abuse. I don't know if you are. I'm not saying you are. I'm just saying I've noticed that about you. Okay? Why are you defending him? Why are you explaining for him? And you're not quite sure what to do. And all that matters is what you want, what you need, how you feel, what you value. These are things that you should be talking to somebody else with and helping increase your self-awareness, because the only way we know how to make any decisions and choices is to totally know who we are. The better we have self-awareness, the better I know exactly what I need, want, feel, and value. In my opinion, I know exactly what to do. So go increase your self-awareness by talking to somebody else that really is there for you, that you trust, okay? And that might help. Write pros and cons, things like this. Speak to other people who know about your relationship, who can call and say, recall some of these things. Hey, remember this? Remember that? I can't tell you what to do. Good luck. The one thing you have is you don't have to do anything. Just start with there. You don't have to do anything. And you have time on your side. You can take your time. Okay? That's just what I've noticed. And I'm sorry if that doesn't do very much. I hope it does. Keep asking questions, okay? Maybe I can help you more. Thanks. Diana from Denmark. Hi, Diana. If a person is highly narcissistic but doesn't have the narcissistic personality disorder, can this person overcome narc tendencies? Do narcs believe in karma? If so, do they fear it? Do narcs know that they are narcs? What are your thoughts on YouTubers who admit they have the narcissistic personality disorder and coach about narcissism? Thanks. Have a good day. Thank you, Diana. So you have a few different questions here. Let's just go through them real quick. If a person doesn't have NPD, can they still overcome narc tendencies? Yes, of course. And a lot of doctors believe even narcissists can with the disorder, okay? It's a spectrum we're all on, okay? We can usually change ourselves, make ourselves be better people and all these things, usually, okay? Do narcissists believe in karma? I don't know. That's you know, there's millions of narcissists. How about not all? How about yes, but not all? being diplomatic, political. If so, do they fear it? I think they fear most things in the world. Yeah, I believe they fear in karma. I believe they don't care so much about, you know, they don't have resentment, they don't regret what they've done to you. They don't feel bad about how bad it hurts you, but they're definitely afraid that somebody will find out. That's karma. Do narcissists know that they are narcs? Some do, some don't. Some are definitely afraid of it. Some love it. Some might be offended to say, I'm not a narcissist, I'm a sociopath. Come on now. I've heard it, seen it. What are your thoughts on YouTubers who admit they have narcissistic personality disorder and coach about narcissism? Why? What are they coaching? What? How to abuse people and exploit people better? Why would anyone in their right mind choose that person? for coaching. Will they really understand? Understand what? Understand your abuser? They don't understand you. They don't have empathy. I don't need to call out, because I know I know of at least 3 in this community that make videos. They say I'm a narcissist and call me if you want coaching. Unbelievable. The people that are on those channels that are commenting, it's disgusting. You'll have a total narcissist. They said, I'm a narcissist. I abuse people. This channel's helping me. And you got all these victims down there in the comment section. You're amazing. You're so perfect. You're so beautiful. I love you. It's just utterly disgusting. We're attracted. Look to what we're attracted to. I would like to think people attracted to me in this channel are somewhat healthy, wanting to be healthier, right? What could I possibly have to offer if I said, yeah, I abuse people in all my relationships and I lack empathy and self-awareness. Call me if you want coaching. For what? You're not done being abused? I mean, we fall for this, right? And we get, God, I can't believe, that's the biggest thing I say, I can't believe I fell for it. Then why would you call a narcissist for coaching? I mean, we can do this with every disorder. I have plenty of borderlines are on YouTube saying, oh, I've healed, I'm not borderline anymore. Okay, that's nice. I'm not going to take your word for it. I haven't seen anything that shows that. Yeah, not a good idea. I would stay away from that. I wouldn't even watch their videos. Emily from South Africa. The other Emily. Hi, Emily. What is a word that describes the ability to understand something someone else went through or is saying without having experienced it yourself? Empathy. Empathy. There are a couple different, 3 different forms of empathy, but it's all about awareness about how you're feeling. And like I said before, really the ability to understand what I do and how it affects you. That's what's really important. And that's where a lot of toxic people, they lack that. The borderlines, they say borderlines have empathy, but they really lack awareness of how their behaviors affect you. How's that empathy? And Emily, again, thank you for your examples. You're so welcome. Is scapegoating in groups rather common? No. Scapegoating is absolutely toxic behavior, and most people in the world aren't toxic. And so they don't have toxic behaviors. We might think this because that's what we're used to. We're used to mom being toxic, dad being toxic, brother being toxic, sister being toxic, grandma, friends, lovers, our own children. Stress probably causes it. It is like after people scapegoated the person, they forget that they did it and act like everything's back to normal. Yeah, well, I mean, scapegoating is the recipe, a major formula or ingredient for relationships that are totally toxic to never fix the problems and stay together. Codependency. That's a major element of codependency. It has to be. So think of a toxic group, and we'll just use 3, the trifecta, right? You've got the victim, poor me, poor me, poor me, poor me. You've got the bad guy, who everybody blames, right? And then you've got the scapegoat, who takes the blame. It's all my fault. It's all my fault. The enabler. Make sense? I'm sorry I hurt you, victim. And I'm sorry you're mad at me and blaming me for everything. Villain. Makes sense? Yeah, that was the end of your question. Salema from France recommends woofing. W-O-O-F-I-N-G. It's a new one. I've never heard of it. It's a free activity, she says. She says that she travels France and kind of works to be able to travel and take vacation. It's like staying with people and doing some work for your rent. Hey, can I stay the next couple of nights at your place, and I'll help with the farm or around the house, jobs, activities, things like this. And I think that's awesome. It is. It reminds me of the old TV show with Grasshopper, Kung Fu, David Carradine. He just goes around and helps people, makes people's lives better, and moves on to the next. It's kind of cool. I like that. Thanks for the advice. And that's all, folks. That's it. Please keep asking questions. Please let me know what you think of my answers. Okay? Keep a little dialogue going here. the more details you give me and the more questions, hopefully I can help you learn, understand what happened to you, and alleviate some shame and have better relationships in the future. Thank you, guys. Love yourself first. Have a decent week, and I'll see you next Monday, okay? Bye-bye.